We are continuing Chapter 8, Personal Finance. In this section, we are going to review simple interest. The objectives are to calculate simple interest and to use a future value formula. First, we need to go over some terms that are important to understanding how to use the formulas. Interest is the dollar amount that we get paid for lending money or pay for borrowing money. The amount of money that we deposit or borrow is called the principal. The amount of interest depends on the principal, the interest rate, which is given as a percent and varies from bank to bank, and the length of time for which the money is deposited. Simple interest involves interest calculated only on the principal. To calculate simple interest, you multiply the principal times the rate times the time. Although the rate may originally be expressed as a percent, you need to write it as a decimal when you put it into the formula. Here's an example. You deposit $2,000 in a savings account at Hometown Bank, which has a rate of 6%. Find the interest at the end of the first year. So we're going to use our formula. I is equal to PRT. The principal is $2,000. The interest rate is 6%, which we changed to decimal by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left and removing the percent sign. So it's 0.06, and the time is 1 year. So when we multiply these out, we find out that the interest at the end of the first year is $120. Next, we're going to calculate simple interest for more than a year. A student took out a simple interest loan for $1,800 for 2 years at a rate of 8% to purchase a used car. Find the interest on the loan. Again, we're going to use I is equal to PRT. The principal is $1,800. The interest rate is 8%, which we changed to 0.08, and the time is 2 years. The interest on the loan is $288. Next, we're going to find future value, principal plus interest. The future value A of P dollars, principal, as simple interest rate R as a decimal for T years is given by A is equal to P times the quantity 1 plus RT. P is also known as present value. We want to calculate future value. We have a loan of $1,060 made at 6.5% for 3 months. Find the loan's future value. So sometimes it helps on these more complicated problems to write down what each variable means. P, the present value, is $1,060. The interest rate is 6.5%, which we changed to the decimal, 0.065. And the time is 1/4 or 0.25 because 3 months is 1/4 of a year. It's very important that you get the time right. So we're going to put these values into our formula. Remember that if you have parentheses or brackets, you perform those operations first. So we are going to take the 0.065 times 0.25, that's R times T. We're going to add that product to 1, and that is what we're going to then multiply by the part outside the brackets, which is 1,060. Remember, do the rate times the time first, add the 1, that's all inside the brackets, and then multiply by what is outside the brackets. That gives us $1,077.23. Sometimes you do have to round because cents are usually only expressed to the hundredths place. In example 4, we want to determine a simple interest rate. In all the previous problems, we've been given the interest rate. This time we want to find the interest rate. You borrowed $2,500 from a friend, and you promised to pay back $2,655 in 6 months. What simple interest will you pay? Okay, we're going to use the formula that we just discussed. So A is going to be the $2,655. That's the future value. The present value, 2,500. T is 1/2 or 0.5 because it's 6 months or half of a year. So we're going to put all these values in our formula. A is equal to P times the quantity 1 plus RT. Remember to do R times T first. Well, in this case, we don't have a value for R. That's what we're trying to find. So we are going to have to just keep it like it is. We cannot combine the 1 and the plus R times 0.5 or 1 plus 0.5R. Instead, we're going to multiply the 2,500 times each separate term inside the parentheses. So 2,500 times 1 is 2,500. 2,500 times 0.5R is 1,250R. We want to solve for R, which means we get it on one side of the equation. So we are going to subtract 2,500 from both sides of the equation. Remember, you have to do the same thing to both sides. So that gives us 155, which is 2,655 minus $2,500 is equal to $1,250, 1,250R. Now we want to get 1R. So we're going to divide both sides by the number in front of the R, 1,250. That will give us just R on the right side, and 155 divided by 1,250 on the left side. When you divide this out, you get R is equal to 0.124. Now that's an interest rate. These are usually expressed in percentages, so we're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right and add the percent sign. We're paying a simple interest rate of 12.4%. And that concludes this section.